Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
The Miami Marlins. Let me say it again. I think we've got Patrick Young on the show. Patrick, I don't think we ever have thought we were going to lead off with the Miami Marlins or have ever led off the show with the Miami Marlins. Patrick Young, what the hell are the Miami Marlins doing? Can you answer me that? What the hell?
Away money?
No, almost as bad. Probably worse. You know what? Patrick, welcome to the Young and Norvelle Show. We kick off a Wednesday edition. We're loaded. Patrick Young's here, obviously. We've got Dr. Bates at 5 o'clock. We've got Brent Beaird at 5:30. A lot to cover. Patrick, we are walking into the long, hot dog days of summer, right? We need stuff. We need stories. We need things. And you and I are
we need car jujitsu.
Absolutely. And you and I are good about finding some fun stuff and keeping it light at sports. Earlier today, on a Wednesday getaway day, the Miami Marlins down in Miami, the home team, you know what they've done, Patrick? They've pissed around. And yes, I'm mad, so I'm going to say it again. The Marlins have pissed around, and they just got swept in a game completed about an hour ago. The Marlins were swept by the Colorado Rockies, for God's sake.
Stop playing.
No! The Rockies, and Patrick, we're all...
That makes me angry. It does make me a little mad.
Yes, because we're trying to get the Rockies across the finish line as the worst team in the history of Major League Baseball.
Ever. Yes, we're trying to get them across the line.
Yes! Patrick, the Marlins at home got beat 3-2 today, I think it was. But the Rockies have swept the Marlins franchise should be moved right now. You should just pack it up and move it out.
Are they literally that bad?
That's terrible.
Are the Marlins that bad, too?
Well, the Marlins right now are 23-37. So, yeah, they're 14 out in their division. The Rockies now are 12-50. I mean, we don't need them winning 3 in a row. Casey Kurtz, Mr. Baseball, Casey Kurtz.
No.
Can you jump in? Am I right to be this angry?
They were supposed to only get one game.
Yeah, it's
been 1 and 2.
Casey, they won 3 in a row. The Marlins got swept by the freaking Rockies.
That's tough.
Oh, that's tough. Come on.
That's tough.
Come on, Marlins. Hey, by the way, I haven't seen this in years. I'm on the ESPN standings. If you go to MLB standings, ESPN page, you look now, and I've never seen it. It says Colorado Rockies, 12 wins, 50 losses. It says their winning streak. It's got a winning streak for every team.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they have one.
W3. I have never seen the Rockies in like a couple years. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and they're 3-7 in their last 10. They're never 3-7 in their last 10. Patrick, what the hell? Come on, Marlins. Don't we got to put the Marlins on probation or something for this?
So yeah, I think the Marlins. I mean, I've already kind of lost respect for the organization after they just like how do you achieve the pinnacle of greatness in winning a World Series and then just become nothing? Irrelevant.
They did it a couple times, didn't they?
Completely irrelevant after.
Casey, wasn't there?
What in the world?
I think that was the Marlins' MO for a couple of World Series, wasn't it, Casey?
Yeah, they won 2.
Yeah, they won 2, and then Fire sold the team off. Come on. And come on, Rockies. What are you trying to do, Rockies? Why are you trying to win games, Rockies? Come on. We got a record to set here, damn it. Right?
What's been the greatest comeback for a baseball team that started out pretty bad?
Ooh.
I wondered, that'd be a great question to know.
Yeah.
The team that maybe they were out of contention. You thought they were dead in the water, all-star break, and then go on some type of miraculous run and they make the tournament.
It might have been that Braves team.
The playoffs.
May have been the Braves. Talk about it, Casey.
I mean, I don't remember how much they were out, but I mean, they were under 500 late.
Well,
and won the World Series.
Under 500 late.
There you go.
I'll throw a couple out there that might. That miracle Mets team that was like 14 out late in the second half. I think 69 Mets. They were way out and they made a run. And remember the year was it the Red Sox had that the Yankees went into Boston. And they call it Murderer's Row or whatever. They just destroyed the Red Sox, and the Yankees were out. This is like 76, 77. Might have been the Bucky Dent year. But the Yankees came in.
The Bucky Dent year.
Yeah, and the Yankees were way out of it, but they just drilled the Red Sox in a 3-game series and then just won their way into the second half. But, come on, Marlon. Come on, Rockies. Rocky? The Rockies got one chance to win the headlines this year. It's not winning a series over the Marlins. It's being the all-time losingest franchise in the history of Major League Baseball. That's what they got going for them. Come on, Marlins.
What was that winning percentage for the White Sox? What was that? Because I know it was
terrible last year.
121 losses.
Yeah, they said it.
122 losses.
They said it last year. Yeah, it was bad. It was
40
bad.
and 122, something like that.
Yeah, 41 and 122 to equal 162. God.
Goodness.
Come on, Rockies, for God's sake.
Woo.
Patrick, hey, did you see where the Gators...
They can't get 40. They're not going to get 40.
So the Rockies...
The White Sox, the Rockies aren't going to get 40. No
here's
way.
how bad the Rockies season has been so far. They are on a red-hot heater right now. They've won 3 in a row. Their record is 12-50. 12-50, and they're red hot, Patrick. Red hot. Hey, did you see where the Gator basketball?
Colorado Rockies stay hot.
Stay hot, Rockies. The Rocky boys. Turn it into the Gators. The Rocky boys stay hot. Yeah. Gator boys stay hot. You see where the Gators just finished off a basketball game coming up in Madison Square Garden this December. They're adding to their schedule. They've got UConn and Hurley. UConn and Hurley in Florida, Madison Square Garden, basketball set. Can't wait for it.
Please don't make me hate him more.
Oh, he's an easy hate. Hey, he's an easy hate, isn't he?
He's an easy hate. He's such an, and I don't hate a lot. I don't normally hate people.
Yeah.
But he's so easy to just be like, dude, no one, like, how did you get married? How did your wife, like, did she know? It's like, did she know what she was signing up for? Because there's no way. There's no way a sane person would say, I choose you.
Yes. I mean, when her girlfriends are asking, well, I'm so excited for you and what's his name? Bobby? No, Danny. You and Danny. I'm so excited for you and Danny. He must be special. What makes him special? What does wife say? What did prospective wife say back to that? What makes him special?
I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, he was so sweet.
He brought me flowers.
He was so thoughtful.
Yeah, he rubbed my feet.
He may have done that. I can see him doing that.
He's an ass.
But any belief for me to think that this dude was like romantic, or sweet, or like you gonna love me.
Yes, exactly.
You gonna love me good.
Yeah, you're my girlfriend, right? Hey. You're my girlfriend, right?
You're my girlfriend, yeah.
You're my girl, right? Right? Say it! Say you're my girlfriend! Hey, Gators got a hell of a schedule.
And probably said it 30 times until she said yes.
Yes, probably. Gators are working on a really nice basketball schedule. They've already got Arizona. They've already got now UConn. They've already got all the SEC. They're working on a really nice basketball schedule, are the Gators. Real nice. Oh, lose Pat?
Who else they got in there? And you can't blame them. You lost them?
Yeah, I think I'm missing one or two, but they've got a nice pre-conference schedule, and then obviously the SEC is going to be strong again. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking real forward to it. Did you see where one of the polls? I don't know if it was ESPN or The Athletic. they went ahead and re-ranked preseason basketball after all the NBA, pullouts and stay-ins. One of the polls has Florida. One of the polls has Florida second, which I think they should be 1, 2, or 3. One of them has them at number 5. I could live with 5, but I think Florida should be ranked 1 or 2 this year preseason. Definitely.
Have you watched any highlights of the kid Xavier Lee? I haven't looked at it.
Little bit.
I know he's got game.
Little bit, yeah.
I know he's got game.
What I've seen is he's one of the first thing I noticed. He always has his head up, and that's what I like in my point guards. He's always got his head up.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? One of those guys. But yeah,
I know what you
mean. He can score and he's an assist guy. So he's a true point guard. He's a true point guard. Yeah. He looks pretty good on film.
You got to have a great point guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to have it.
Yeah, definitely. What's going on with you? What's up with Patrick Young? Talk to me. Just in general.
Patrick Young is flying to Charlotte
what are you doing
today
there?
For a speaking engagement. I'm speaking to Truist Bank tomorrow, so that's going to be nice. Be a cool thing. It's crazy how it came to fruition. It was pretty quick. It was like it was one of those things where the Truist, they have their own golf tournament that they host. Like that was the priority of all the decision makers.
Sure.
So for planning this event, they had a coach that was, it was kind of like a verbal, he's going to be the guy to speak. And because the focus was so much on the golf tournament, the guy ended up pulling out. Like he wasn't even really, seemed like he wasn't even really set on doing this thing. So
come on, guy. Come on, guy.
Nice. They emergently called me in.
Nice.
They emergently called me in, and I'm like, shoot, I'm not going to complain about a quick little trip for an hour worth of work to get a little bit of money in my pocket.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So it's when is it tomorrow?
So tomorrow around 1 o'clock.
In Chicago.
Then we get back. Our flight's at 3:50. Yeah. No, in Charlotte.
Oh, in Charlotte. I'm sorry. Oh, that's even better. You know Charlotte like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
You own Charlotte. You're the mayor of Charlotte.
If I had to go to Chicago, if I had to go to Chicago, I would have told them they got to pay me. They got to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Because I don't want to deal with like, oh man, that's just a hassle.
So are you talking to
that's like the worst airport?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Are you talking to bank executives, or do you know who the audience will be from Truist?
It's going to be mostly sales teams, like the people that are selling mortgages or loans and stuff like that, and. Really cool. She said, all right, the theme is championship mindset.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you couldn't have asked me for it. This is a layup.
That's wheelhouse. Yeah, that is wheelhouse for you.
That's wheelhouse for me. I really like that because the first thing about being a champion or saying championship mindset, you're assuming that it's something you can grab, that anybody can just have the mindset like it's attainable.
No.
But there's a lot of work to get there.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. It's really hard. It's really hard, but it is attainable to be a champion. And people get so caught up at the end of the goal instead of the journey.
Yeah.
Like, or even saying, when I become this, then I'll be ready. And it's like, no, there's countless teammates I've had and people I've met that they're like, oh man, when the opportunity comes. And it's like, what are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like, are you preparing? Are you in your mindset? Are you taking on this responsibility, this discipline, this sacrifice, this giving your best all the time? Because if you're not, that's not a championship mindset.
Nice.
That's a mindset of a guy or a girl that's thinking about themselves and looking cool.
Yeah.
And not wanting to embarrass themselves or fail.
You just made me think of something, Patrick, and I'm not a deep thinker like this, and I fail a lot of times.
Wearing a mask while on the bike. Yeah. Sorry, that bothers me. When somebody's outside, he's outside on a bicycle wearing a mask.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, Patrick. Don't be that guy. Hey, you just made me think about something, and I'm not the guy you just described. I can tend to. If I don't win, I'm a loser. You know what, Pat? I'm wondering. In the game of life, being serious for a minute, along your topic a moment ago, in the game of life, I don't know if a champion always has to be the number one winner. I think you could be a champion if you do it as good as you can do it and as hard as you can do it. You might not be the number one, but Can you still be a champion? I think you can if you're not number one in everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it happened. It was a few years ago in the NBA. I'm glad you brought this up. And Giannis, they had won the championship maybe a year or two ago. He had won back-to-back MVPs, and they got knocked out. They were the first 8. They were the first 1 seed to get knocked out by an 8 seed. That was in Miami. Do you remember that? That was the Heat knocked him out. And a reporter asked him, he's like, was this a failure? Was this season a failure?
I remember this now. Yeah.
This sense of this sense of like kind of just throwing that season as a wash. And Giannis, he explained it, and I think he was kind of caught off by the question a little bit because
I agree.
Giannis is he's one of my favorite guys to listen to. He's very smart. He answers very logical, and he puts a good amount, the right amount of passion in there as well. And he's like, this isn't a failure. Yeah, we fell short of this ultimate goal, but like he pointed to just all the little things that people just like. He's like, I make a lot of money. I get to play in the NBA. I have a beautiful family. I have this. Like looking at all these things and like, it's like we fell short, but I don't see this as a failure. Yeah. Like I'm living my dream, and I'm like, dang.
I remember that answer. Point. I remember that. I remember exactly what you're saying. Yeah, that was really interesting. I remember that with Giannis, and he handled that really well.
And that's why it's so important. And you know this, Terry, your daughter, she played sports, I'm sure, a little bit growing up.
Sure.
Like when she was real little, maybe, and she could run and you compete with her and stuff and play with her. I bet she cried because one of my best friends, he has a 4-year-old. He never lets her win. he never. And I was hanging out with him a few weekends ago, and we were doing this race in their backyard. They have turf, so I could move around a little bit, but it was still hard. Yeah. So you run down and back. As soon as her dad would pass her, she fell down on the ground and cried and quit. There. And I'm like, and I'm like, Lily, all you got to do, you just get back up and you try again.
Yeah.
And you try again and you try again and you keep going. And, that's the best thing you can do for just encouraging them to keep going.
Yeah.
And failure, falling, losing, it's a part of it.
Yeah. And
I mean, ask Tom Brady. Tom Brady says those bad seasons that he had, those were the ones that really made him and changed him and made him the person that he is.
Yeah.
And losing that 18-1 season, man.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you mentioned you're doing a speaking engagement to the folks of Truist Bank in Charlotte. Obviously, Charlotte is the banking capital of our country, I think. Banking is huge in Charlotte. You're doing that tomorrow. You're heading up. A couple things for people that might be listening and wondering, and I'm wondering, do you handle your own bookings or do you have a guy? And if somebody wanted to explore booking Patrick Young talk about do you handle your own booking or do you have a guy?
Right now I handle my own booking, but what's pretty cool, I at the spring meetings here recently, I've become friends with Marty Smith. I've, not
nice.
Like you and I, not like you and I, Terry, but whenever he and I get a chance to connect, you're like, this guy actually does care. And at the meetings, he said, hey man, I'm going to get you connected with my agents over at CAA.
Nice.
And he said, I hope that comes to fruition because he's like, dude, it's very lucrative. Marty Smith is like the poster boy for everything ESPN now.
Yeah, he really is.
Everything for them. So he's lined those pockets pretty well.
Yeah.
Through the years, and just thinking you go into a room and you speak, you work for, let's say 3 hours. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And then you get a directly deposited check of $25,000.
Wow.
Just like that.
Wow,
Isn't
Marty.
that crazy? Maybe more. Tebow's getting $100,000 per every time he speaks.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
How about that? I'm speaking
That's
on
crazy,
this.
Right?
I'm speaking on this show right now for nothing. I'm making nothing. How about that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat.
We got to take it over the higher ups.
Hey, well, yeah, exactly. Well, hey, while I've got you, and before we go to our first break, help me tell people we've been doing it for weeks now, and it's well underway. The Jacksonville Basketball Academy, Coach Martin's Academy, started May 27th, weekly for 9 weeks. They're right in the middle of it. Tell people, obviously the way to find out information if you've got a basketball player in your life and you need to get them set up to improve their game, learn the game, just have a great activity during the summer. Jacksonville BasketballAcademy.com. That's where all the information is at. Jacksonville BasketballAcademy.com. Talk about it, Pat.
And now I'm thinking about this, Terry. I'm sure for those high school kids that maybe basketball isn't your thing, but maybe you need some community service hours.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can volunteer and reach out through Jacksonville Basketball Academy and get some hours, rebounding, putting kids through drills. Yeah. Whatever Coach Martin would ask you to do. It's of all the things in doing community service, look, you be indoors. In air conditioning. Yep. You're around kids. So it's going to be happy. It's going to be a positive energy. Yeah. The kids are going to be enthused. And then it's basketball. So then also even if you're not that good, you get to embarrass kids. Beat up, you can build your confidence as an average 16-year-old basketball player by beating down some third graders, That's a way to
look at it. And Pat, you learned from Coach Martin. Obviously, he owns and operates the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Again, JacksonvilleBasketballAcademy.com. But you learned under Coach. I'm assuming the two coaches that you learned the most about the game. I mean, learn the game. Everybody knows the ball goes to the basket. Everybody knows that. Everybody gets that, okay? Coach Martin and Coach Donovan probably, I got to believe, are year 1 and 2. Talk about learning the game of basketball. And they want to teach these people all summer to understand the game of basketball. What does that mean?
I think, there's this dynamic that parents have in wanting, and one of my best friends, he Matt Santoni, he's one of the coaches there. Yeah. That assists and they've been doing it for a while, and I've always picked their brains because Matt being a newer coach, Coach Martin being an older coach that's done it for a long time, and it's kind of stays the same for the most part. You learn the more you can teach your kids to be humble. Teach your kids to soak in as much, because mostly what they're yelling at the kids for is their attention. Yeah. Being good teammates and hustle. Yeah. Those three things. And when you look, if you can't pay attention, because people might say, but what does that have to do with learning the game? Look, if you have an hour, Terry, we have an hour of practice. Yeah. And I have to spend 15 minutes of that trying to get kids to pay attention. Yeah. Trying to get kids to not think about themselves and pout and being able to encourage other teammates. And then what was the last one?
Yeah, but they're just wandering away out of line and wandering around. And
how much of that practice time is actually being utilized to learn the game or get repetition in, or the drill? Because coaches, they plan out practice. I agree. Like Coach Martin, he plans out what he wants the guys to work on. Same thing, Coach Donovan, and I'll say this, my senior year, Coach Donovan said, as we were going, he said, hey, practice doesn't need to be 2.5 hours. Yeah. It's like, if you guys come ready to go, because we had times where we weren't stretching right and we had to start practice over. Yeah. Or we had one of those peer pressure drills where it's like full court layups or 3-man weaves under a certain period, and we couldn't hit the number. And he said, if you guys come in locked in, focused, ready to go, practice is going to be an hour to an hour and a half, and then you guys can continue to work on other things that you need to. So that was some of the best advice. Character, talent is going to be there, but character is so important to really get on these kids at a young age, because Coach Martin, love the man to death. He got standards. Yep. He ain't dealing with no bad. He ain't dealing with no bad attitude kids. Yeah. He's not doing it. Yeah. He kicked players off the team that were repeatedly disobedient or repeatedly were letting their teammates down with how they showed up to practice. Yeah.
Yeah, and Patrick, obviously, with your college experience, your professional basketball experience, you can speak to this. I'll speak to this and then let you, as we're wrapping up the first segment. I've been to 1 million Jaguar practices over the years. I've been to about 500,000 Division I college football practices, mainly the Gators, but different bowl games. And, Virginia schools would come through here and practice at JU. I've been to 1 million high-level practices. The Jaguars have a mandatory minicamp next Wednesday. It's open to the public. You can sign up. They have limited space. If you've never gone to an NFL Jaguar practice, those practices are so scripted out. As a matter of fact, Wednesday, they will start at 8:50, and they will go, I got the time somewhere. It's 8:50 in the morning, not 9, not 8:45. They will start at 8:50, and they will end at 10:20. And Patrick, the NFL, just using the Jaguars as an example, and you know this, there's a script. There is a practice script that every coach and every assistant and every grad guy, and mainly the guy that has the air horn. And if you haven't been to one of these practices and you go Wednesday, there's one guy that has an air horn. You know what I'm talking about? And that script says 8:50 to 8:57 is stretching. You're going to hear the air horn. And those players who've seen that script, they know then they got to go here. And about 7 minutes later, you're going to hear the air horn again. It is so scripted. They don't have time to screw around. Right? They don't have time to screw around. And you better be on time, and you better be punctual. That's called life. It's tight, man.
Yep.
It's tight.
Absolutely. That's why, and this is within the same topic, but to what you're saying, when that is the NFL model of being a professional organization.
Yeah.
If you cannot, as a player, keep up with those things when you're a professional, there's consequences you face.
And Pat, you've been the
with a lot of ambiguity and maybe figuring out the college. I was going to say the college level. That's again to your point. Follow the NFL model. College.
Yep.
When we're talking about contracts and keeping players accountable, follow that model because that is going to prepare these kids for the NFL properly.
Patrick, the Jaguar practices I'm referencing, I way back, covering them and working for daily radio and stuff. I went to 1 million practices this time of year, all summer, under the Coughlin regime. And Patrick, I can tell you vividly, I can remember it didn't happen a lot, but at least at least 2 or 3 times I can remember over the years. The Jaguars on a tight schedule, being a professional, the air horn would blow, and there were 1 or 2 times the players were just, as a whole, not everybody, but as a whole, they were just not getting it done. And Coughlin would stop. You stop practice and you screw up the time sheet, that is a big deal. But he did it once or twice, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty when he had to stop practice and totally screw up the timesheet. You know what I'm talking about? Just totally. But he said, hey, we're getting nowhere fast, guys. And you could tell he was out there chewing these guys, and he was saying, guys, you're professionals. This is what you do. Tighten up. Tighten up.
You got one job.
One job.
That's one of those. You got one job, guys. This is it. It's only for a few hours, and then you get to do whatever you want.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, PY, let's take a break here. If you can stick around, great. If not, we understand. You're rocking and rolling. Big day for you tomorrow, heading to hey, too bad you're not talking to the truest people in Atlanta at the baseball park. That's the truest baseball park in Atlanta. I wish you were doing that.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, my gosh. Wouldn't that be a dream?
I'd go with you.
Oh, my gosh. They could pay me in Braves tickets.
Yes,
pay me in Braves tickets.
That'd be great. All right, let's take a break here. He's Patrick Young. I'm Jarrion Norvelle, off and running on a Hump Day edition. We've got Dr. Bates at the top of the hour, and then Brent Beaird about 5:30. A lot of topics, including some Jaguar talk. Bill Barnwell from ESPN, well-respected writer for ESPN. He had a neat column today, and he talked about a couple of receivers, either one with the Jaguars or formerly with the Jaguars. We'll tell you what he said on the other side. The Young Norvelle Show continues on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The best stories sometimes come after the game. Join us for in-depth conversations with local coaches Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m., including our latest guest on the program.
So I had a parent meeting year 2 and told the parents, look, I know there's 15 of us. There'll be more that will come. The younger ones will come up and they'll be fine. And, we'll win state championships. And when I tell you they laughed at me to the point of tears, I'm not exaggerating.
Catch up on the chats you missed by watching the After the Game playlist on our Action Sports Jacks YouTube page.
Hey, there's a look over the downtown skyline. Boy, it's better looking than it was yesterday. It looks like we do have a little rain coming. Casey, is that rain coming or going? Can we tell in that background? Going that way or?
Unconfirmed.
Coming this way?
Not
yeah, there we go. 50-50, just like a weatherman, right? Unconfirmed. Welcome back, Young and Norvelle Show here on a Wednesday. We've got Dr. Bates at 5 o'clock, our sports medicine segment sponsored by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and then Brent Beaird about 5:30. Casey Kurtz producing. I want to thank Patrick Young checking in as he's traveling away. Got a speaking engagement tomorrow in Charlotte with the Truist Bank folk. So safe travels for Patrick. He'll be back with us later in the week. Mr. Casey Kurtz, our producer today, as always. How about a little Jaguar Talk? Up for that? A little Jaguar Talk?
Sure.
What the heck? Bill Barnwell. Writes for ESPN, well respected. He had a neat column today, little story today. He just kind of bounced around the league and picked out signings and or trades that could be breakout or flop. Okay, so breakout or flop. And I'll tell you, we got two guys. He referenced two Jaguar-ish players, and we can get to that in a quick second. But I want to back up real quick. Speaking of the Jaguars, real good-bad situation happened for one of the Jacksonville Jaguar defensive backs, Jarrion Jones, right? Is he the kid from FSU?
Yes.
Jones, yeah, DB from FSU. They still think he's got both coaching staffs, last year's and this year's. They think he's got a little talent. You probably know what's going on with him. He's in the middle of a real good news, bad news situation, Casey.
Yeah,
with Madden. You know what's going on?
I do. It's not, I mean, the play is him, but they recreated the photo shoot.
Yeah.
So at least there's that.
Yeah, there is that. But this is one of those situations, if you aren't aware or can't remember, last year, Jones was the defender against the Eagles when Saquon, he did a backward hurdle
right
over the player, which was in the Jaguar game. So the player was Jones. So, I mean, that's one of those situations, if you're Jarrion Jones, you want to call home and say, Mom, guess what? Great news. I'm on the cover of Madden NFL. And then you find out it's because Saquon Barkley is backward hurdling you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be making that call.
Did you see it's kind of neat the way they recreated it.
I mean, I think they used a harness, which is kind of cheap for Saquon. I mean, he did it in real life, but whatever.
Obviously Saquon, and they didn't use the actual footage. They recreated it, and it's Saquon. I saw the shoot like you did, and it was pretty neat. But yeah,
not the best.
Yeah, good news, bad news. You make the Madden NFL cover, but you're the what do you call it? The heel? Not the heel, I guess. Heel's a bad
wrestling
guy.
term.
Yeah. What are you? You're the.
You're getting embarrassed.
You're getting embarrassed. Yes, you're getting
what happened.
Backward hurdled by a fellow pro football player that you're supposed to be in the same level as. Right?
Yes.
Jaguar Talk. Interesting. I don't know if you saw the Bill Barnwell.
I did not.
He had a little article, like I said, signings and trades from this past offseason, breakout or flop. And he had like 8 or 9 or 10 different players. 2 of them were either a Jaguar now or a former Jaguar.
Okay.
Dyami Brown, okay, free agent wide receiver signing from Washington, right? He had some interesting comments about Dyami Brown, and I'll give you kind of the highlights. Many people point to he had a big end of the season and a playoff, right? He had a big playoff season. Obviously, the Commanders played a couple games. So after a career-high 308 yards, receiving yards for Brown during the regular season, he had 229 more in the postseason, including games with 89 and 98. And that was kind of his selling card, right? As a free agent. So the article that Barnwell wrote, so he says, well, did Brown turn into a different player during the playoff run? I'm not sure I see that on the film. So Barnwell went and broke down the film. And he says several of his big plays over that stretch came on blown coverages and scramble drills. Those yards count, but they're a product of scheme as opposed to Brown getting himself open. He had a 24-yard catch and run on a screen and a 42-yard completion against the Lions' backups who failed to pass off a route concept correctly. Brown did have a 38-yard gain on a seam route running past, and he points out, rookie cornerback Jarrion Arnold out of the slot. But that was the exception for his production during the playoff run. He also, and Barnwell, again, went back and watched tape, he said. He also, Brown, fumbled twice, losing a key fumble early on against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Over blah, 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 blah. So he goes on to say stuff. And he ends up saying this. He's not burying this guy, but he goes on and says, on one hand, the limited usage suggests that Brown's most modest regular season numbers were deflated because of lack of opportunity. On the other, it seems telling that the Commanders didn't prioritize targets for Brown despite, and I'll paraphrase it. The Commanders, Casey, really only had one wide receiver threat, Terry McLaurin. That was about all. So Barnwell goes on to say, it's concerning that Brown, that number 2 receiver opposite McLaurin was out there for the taking, and nobody, included Brown, took it. Nobody. They just had like 6 guys and McLaurin.
Right.
So he goes on to wrap it up by saying, don't be surprised to see more of the same, kind of a hit-and-miss guy in Jacksonville, where the throws will go to Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter. Instead of reaching his January form, Barnwell wraps it up about Brown, saying, Brown is likely to make more of an impact as a blocker and a clear-out receiver. Okay, so that's into Brown. Thoughts on that? He didn't bury him. Now, if the Jaguars have their druthers, they're happy that Brown's the number 3 guy, right?
I mean, yeah. Listen, it makes...
So what do you think of that whole thing?
It didn't make a whole lot of sense when they signed him to be the number 2.
Yeah.
And clearly they had a bigger plan, which they executed in getting Travis Hunter. But as a 3, I don't mind it. Brent and Austin had Tony Baselli on the day of the draft, so they hadn't picked Travis Hunter yet.
Yeah.
And the question was asked, like, are you good at wide receiver if you don't make a move? And Tony Baselli said, we really like Dyami Brown. So they see something they think they can get more out of him. He's very fast, which they want. They now have 3 absolute burners at wide receiver. So I like the idea that he's your 3 when you have a Travis Hunter now. Listen, I would say to the article, sure, there's busted coverages often. It happens in the league. And also sometimes you get to line up on rookie corners. So, you know.
I'm glad you pointed all that out, because before the Travis Hunter thing, when they went out and got Dyami Brown,
it was confusing.
I was like, oh my God, this is this year's Gabe Davis. Dyami Brown's just a guy. That's your number 2.
And at the time, you did still have Gabe Davis on the roster.
Yeah.
But still, it didn't. There was confusion.
Yeah, and you knew Gabe Davis wasn't going to just miraculously be the number 2 and,
I agree with that.
And hit great heights. So, yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad you pointed that out. I totally agree with that. Now with Hunter, you got to hope Hunter is good enough and plays enough at wide receiver to be your 2 or 1A. Or 1B, whatever you want to call him.
Sure.
So I don't think he totally buried it. He actually kind of maybe made people think like we think. Wait a minute. If he was your penciled-in number 2, this all may be valid. But if you can get by, if he gives you 50 catches as your 3rd,
you take it.
You take it and run. In terms of Evan Engram was the other guy, and obviously Engram was not retained. It's pretty good for the Jaguars, according to Barnwell. He thought Evan Engram was he actually, in his evaluation, basically called him a safety valve. He said Evan Engram is not, and this is not a big knock at Engram because there's only a few of these guys. He said Evan Engram, letting Engram go wasn't that big of a deal. He wasn't a crazy physicality tight end. See Travis Kelce. He wasn't a crazy get down the seam and catch an 85-yard touchdown pass. See George Kittle. He called Engram, he's a solid NFL tight end, but a true safety valve. And I remember we talked about the knock on, I don't know if it's a knock because you are who you are. Ingram's world was in a tube 5 to 8 yards across the line of scrimmage, right, from sideline to sideline. And that's kind of what, and I agree. Don't you agree? I think he caught a lot of passes. He wasn't bad by any means wearing the teal and black, but I don't think Engram moving on is that big of a deal. Your thoughts, Casey?
I think it's the biggest mistake they've made, although they can correct it. And listen, they want to run the football. Liam Cohen wants to run the ball. Evan Engram was not that he would, and he was willing. He was a willing blocker, but that's not his style of play.
Yeah.
And they have 3 backs. They have maybe 4 backs. They want to run the ball. They brought in 2 more tight ends that can block. Brent Strange can block his tail off. So from a offense standpoint, it didn't make a lot of sense to have Evan Engram still here. I still think they will miss him. Listen, 2 years ago, I'd argue with anybody that he's one of the best in the sport. 114 catches at the tight end position when they desperately needed those. And I think he will do well in Denver. But I think it was just a play style thing. And to me, it's honestly the biggest mystery of the offseason, the decisions they made. Will they look back and go, you know what? We should have kept an Evan Engram here because Brent Strange didn't develop the way we expected. Or Brent Strange is going to be very good, and you're going to be like, oh, that's right, they did have Evan Engram.
What were your thoughts on it? Go back. I didn't get it all. What were your thoughts on him if the Jaguars want to run and Engram as a blocking tight end.
He was willing, but he wasn't the perfect candidate for that.
I'm glad you said that because Barnwell, here's a sentence from his evaluation about Engram, and I gave you some of the highlights according to Barnwell. You know, he called him a safety valve. He's not a seam guy. See Kittle. Hell, Kittle had the 85-yard catch here. I think he's not a crazy physical guy. And I think all that true. One sentence he said was, here it is, given that Engram doesn't offer much as a blocker, the vast majority of his value comes from his receiving work. Yeah. Now, I think you hit another wonderful point. If you, and he's not going to have, Ingram's 114-yard catch seasons are over, right? But if Engram goes out and if he gave you 80 catches, or Denver, or wherever he's at. Is he at Denver?
Yep.
If he goes out and gives you 80 solid NFL catches, maybe not the most yardage as a get-down-the-field guy, and you look up and Strange gives you 42, well, that's a lot of missed catches in there.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I mean, that goes to, the conversation of how much football is there to go around in this offense. So could Evan Engram have done those type of things? Probably not, because, again, they can have personnel on the field and run the football and throw at the same time with a Brent and Strange, where if you had Evan Engram on the field in this offense, you think there would have been somewhat of a tell there. So I hate to lose Evan Engram. I think he was fantastic as a Jaguar, but this is a decision that Gladstone and Cohen made, and it's one of the ones that I think they'll be judged on pretty significantly if they're right or wrong, behind Travis Hunter would, in my opinion, is the only other bigger move they've made.
Definitely. We've got a couple more minutes before the top of the hour. Want to hit a few things in case we miss. We should have Dr. Bates on at 5 for our Southeast Orthopedic Specialist sports medicine discussion, and then Brent Beaird. So let me get a couple things out, and Casey, I'd love to get your thoughts as well. Major League Baseball talk. We talked about the Rockies and Marlins. We had some fun. The Rockies actually have swept for the first time in well over a year. Rockies swept the Marlins. Another last night classic Skenes game. Paul Skenes.
I heard.
Did you see what he did? He goes, last night, Skenes against, who'd they play?
Houston, I
Houston,
believe.
yeah, it was Houston. Paul Skenes, 8 complete innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. That was all the runs he gave up. 1 earned, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, and, of course, they lose 3-0. The bullpen gives up 2. He gives up 1. Classic Paul Skenes. His ERA in a loss went from 2.15 to 2.05.
Crazy.
And he's now 4-6 on the season. Caglione, 0 for 5 last night. He had to dig into it a little bit. Did you see his first at-bat?
It was hit hard, right?
Absolutely smoked in the right field gap, and they can do this now because they've got technology. The center fielder, I can't remember who it was, covers 92 feet and chases down a gapper. Caglione, supposedly, I didn't watch the rest of the at-bats. He went 0 for 5. They had him DH because they didn't want to put too much on his plate. They're going to end up playing him in the outfield, like I said. He goes 0 for 5. Supposedly, he went backside for 2 balls, and the third baseman made a couple great plays. Now, you don't want Cags hitting backside very often, do you? You didn't draft him to go backside. But
no.
He made some pretty good contact, 0 for 5 last night. Braves bullpen bombed again. Bullpen gives up 3 in the 9th. I don't know if you noticed that.
They're only in front of one team in the National League East.
How about that?
The team that just got swept by the Rockies.
How about that? The Braves now.
And by the way, it's somewhat close. 4.5 games.
Oh, that's rough. That is rough. So it's at the bottom of the division. Marlins, Braves, Nationals.
That's correct.
And then the Phillies and the Mets are playing ping pong.
Yep.
At the top. And
that's correct.
Gosh darn. But Strider, not a bad outing. I mean, he gave 6 hits, I think it was. He got you into the 5th, and it was a game. It was a game, but then the damn Braves bullpen. It wasn't Hernandez, though. Hernandez has been the guy that's hitting guys with the bases loaded and walking guys.
Oh, yeah, you were upset about that a couple weeks ago, or last week.
Yeah, gosh. I tuned in back-to-back games, and the Braves, he's on the mound, and, that's a tough job, man. I tell you, a major league relief pitcher, not just getting, by the way, innings. I mean, game-on-the-line innings. That's tough, but that's what you're paid for, man.
It is the worst job because if you do well, you don't get noticed.
Oh.
And if you screw the whole thing up, you get noticed.
Yeah.
So it is rough.
Yeah, he drilled a guy with the bases loaded, I think against the Phillies. And then, he walked a guy first that inning, that week I was watching. Walked a guy with the bases loaded. And then hit a guy with the bases loaded. And it might have been back-to-back games. And, I mean, that's a quick way to get sent down. Sit down. So baseball cruising along. It'll be fun to track Caglione just because he's around here. I don't know if we'll have time to get deep into this subject. We may carry this over, but I'm really, I may be over giddy about this Athletes Unlimited softball league that Major League Baseball has bought into. Do you have any thoughts on that? Does it move your meter at all right now? Probably not. I know.
I would watch it.
Same here.
I'm not counting down the days or anything.
Nor
but
am I.
like, if you tell me it's on, I'd be like, okay, what we got going?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm pretty sold on women's fast pitch softball. I think it's a fun sport. I think it's the next up and coming sport. And TV numbers suggest it. They pulled in some big numbers on ESPN in the last couple of years with the where we're at right now with the playoffs and the 2 out of 3 finals. For people that don't know, Major League Baseball has bought a stake into this professional softball league. My thought is, and I don't think it'll happen because the WNBA, I think, thinks they're way more than what they are. If I was the WNBA and this new league / the NBA and Major League Baseball, I might try and work together, partnership a little bit to see if I can help promote both sports. And I know this sounds crazy, but here's the deal. Real quick, this new league, professional league with a lot of money now, the softball league's got a lot of money. They're not going to be hurting for cash. They've got a TV deal. They're going to play, there's like 4 right now, and they're starting small. They got 4 franchises. They're going to play like 24 games.
Mm-hmm. I heard that last night, actually.
They've got a couple of designated sites, but then they're going to kind of barnstorm, right? And their season's 2 months. Then they'll have some playoffs. Now, June and July is basically their season. That overlaps the WNBA. The WNBA is about 6 months, right? But they're getting going, the WNBA. So they're going to overlap for a good 2 months. The WNBA and this professional soccer league. NBA backed, MLB backed.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the, and stay with me. Here's what I would propose. Some of the softball locations, they're going to play their championship 3-game series, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, a college softball hotbed.
Mm-hmm.
Norman, Oklahoma is going to get some games. Remember, they're traveling around.
Sure.
Round Rock, which is 15 minutes from Austin. Call it Austin.
Okay.
Texas is in the championship series of softball. Raleigh.
Okay.
Raleigh-Durham, Duke, North Carolina has great women's sports.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Wake Forest is there as well.
Omaha. Now, you say Omaha baseball. Well, that's a college area.
Same
Omaha
idea.
is baseball college playoff, but you see where I'm going.
I do.
Here's what I would do. If I'm the WNBA and this new AUSL softball, I would try to kind of cross-promote. Keep in mind, Tuscaloosa, Norman, Austin, Raleigh, and Omaha, all of those college softball facilities are big time.
Mm-hmm.
They're modern. You can put 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. So you've got the softball arena, ballpark, modern ballparks.
Mm-hmm.
Tuscaloosa, Norman, Austin, Raleigh, and Omaha also have sitting there on their dirt basketball arenas that have nothing going on. I'm not saying play the entire WNBA season.
Just make it a one-off.
But I'm saying, why not a softball weekend along with a WNBA weekend in Tuscaloosa?
Those folks would like to see Caitlin Clark.
You see where I'm going?
I do.
Norman, hey, on June whenever, WNBA Friday night, softball Saturday, vice versa.
Yeah.
Right there.
No, I like it.
Now, why would somebody not think? I'm far from the smartest guy in the world.
That's true.
Absolutely. I stand up and raise my hand. I'm in the front of that line, pal. We're all standing backwards, but I'm in the front of the line. I don't know we're standing backwards.
That's good.
They told me we're standing forward, and I'm in the front. I'm really in the back.
Well, wherever you think you're first is all that matters.
There you go. Second place is first loser, or whatever Ricky Bobby said.
That is what Ricky Bobby said.
The problem with my theory here is, number one,
I like that.
I think the appearance, the WNBA is going to go, we are way more established. This is a first, right?
Probably.
They would grist, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah.
I think they would say, oh, wait a minute. So I think there would be, but I could see that working to promote
see it working.
to promote women's professional sports. And by the way, it's in the summertime. It's kind of a dead time right now.
Yeah, no, I actually think it makes a lot of sense because I'm thinking about it from like let's say, because Oregon, right? Oregon's good at softball.
Yep.
More times than not. So think about you do the softball in Oregon, and then you have the New York team, which has Sabrina Ionescu on it, who went to Oregon.
Oregon, there you go.
Have them go out and play a game in Oregon. Like, that's going to draw. Both things are going to draw. They like softball. They like Sabrina Ionescu. Like, it works. Same thing with, I don't know up and down the WNBA roster. So, like, you mentioned Durham. Is there any Duke or North Carolina girls that could be there that's like the draw?
Yeah.
I think a lot of that makes sense. And I think really you could put Caitlin Clark just about anywhere.
I agree.
Earth, and
Caitlin
people would
Clark,
come
you
see
could
her.
send her on 5.
Mhm.
Let her team play in 5 of these.
Yeah.
I will now, just as a, being, everybody pretty much know, I'm a pretty good guy. Wouldn't you say? Terry Norvell's a pretty good guy.
I think that's a consensus.
Under that, guys, that I'm a pretty good guy, I'll volunteer right now to go cover the softball game in Norman.
Okay.
With Landry, the pitcher. Have you seen the Oklahoma pitcher?
Yeah.
She's cute.
Okay.
She's cute.
All right.
She was even crying cute yesterday when she lost.
Can't win them all.
Yeah, cried cute. cried cute. All right, anyway, I am bullish on this AUSL, and I'm telling you, there is an upswing across the country. Softball, fast-pitch softball has really caught on. It is catching on. The numbers say it. I'm telling you, ESPN has had good numbers for the championship series the last couple of years, but I just don't see the WNBA. They would be admitting failure if they did something like this. Wait, can't you see the WNBA? No. We are 15 years ahead of that. We're 20 years ahead of that.
Possibly.
By the way, this AUSL, the commissioner, a woman, her last name is NG. I can't pronounce it. She's Asian. Asian. I'm not sure, so I don't want to mangle it. If you get a second, look at her resume. I mean, she has been general manager to Major League. She's Major League Baseball. She's got high-ranking jobs. I think she's been a general manager a couple places.
Yeah, she was a GM for the Marlins.
Yeah, GM. I mean, a general manager, a big-time, high front office executive in Major League Baseball, and they've gotten her signed in. Now, it's one person, but and they've got money. The key is you're not rubbing nickels together.
Correct.
Right? And you're not rubbing nickels together, not saying somebody like The Rock and his investors, they probably came up with money for UFL. But then the second part, they are having to go pitch it and beg and plead. Listen, TV guys, no, I promise it's going to be, well, the softball part of this, I think most people can visualize this is going to be good entertainment visually on TV. And they've got money. You can't say that about UFL.
True, you cannot.
They can have all the money they want.
It's terrible.
Their product's terrible.
Yeah.
Their level of play is terrible.
Real bad.
Anyway, we're going to be, are you on board with me? Or can I is it 2? Are we 2 now?
I like this idea.
I think, hey, we're a formation of 2 right now.
So we're not doing too well.
We're open, though. We're open for membership. Our membership is open.
Okay.
Okay, right.
All right, I like it. I think it's actually a pretty decent idea.
We are a movement of 2 and growing, Casey.
Unconfirmed if we're growing, but we're trying.
Okay, that's our mission statement. We're trying to grow. Help us grow.
That's not a good mission. We should not
help it. No, okay, that's not our mission statement. We're going to come up with a mission statement later.
Okay.
Okay, that's our unconfirmed. Actually, we strike that mission statement.
We strike it.
We strike it right now. All right, break time. 1 hour down. We hope to come back with Dr. Aaron Bates. A lot of stuff to get into, including, is it true? You hear athletes say it all the time. I heard a pop. You've heard that. Pitcher was throwing. He said he heard a pop. You hear knee gets blown out. How true is that? I want to talk to Dr. Bates. Is that a real thing? That and a whole lot more. Hour 2 kicking off in a quick second right here on the Young Norvelle Show on Action Sports Jax.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The best stories sometimes come after the game. Join us for in-depth conversations with local coaches Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m., including our latest guest on the program.
So I had a parent meeting year 2 and told the parents, look, I know there's 15 of us. There'll be more that will come. The younger ones will come up and they'll be fine. And, we'll win state championships. And when I tell you they laughed at me to the point of tears, I'm not exaggerating.
Catch up on the chats you missed by watching the After the Game playlist on our Action Sports Jax YouTube page.
Hey, here we are. Take a look at this high school hurdling championship. Oh, she falls. She's going to lose. No, she's not. A double somersault to win.
How about that?
Casey, are you kidding me?
That's pretty good.
What in the world? Let's look at it again. Okay, girl in lane 4 winning. Okay, easy, cruising. Hey, it's going to be a fun win. All I got to do is get over this line. Oh, down she 1, 2, and she still wins. Unbelievable, Casey.
It's good stuff.
That is really good stuff. Out of Oregon, I think?
Yeah.
Oregon High School. One more time. Central Oregon, as you see there. Man, she's killing them, but I got to ask the question, Casey, before we get to Dr. Bates, and I hope he can see this. Casey, the winner looked like a big-time athlete. She's flying down the track. How bad was the rest of the field if the girl hits the last hurdle, falls down, double somersaults, and still wins going away?
Yeah, I mean, just I'm hoping she was the favorite. pretty heavily. I know you don't bet on high school sports, obviously, but I mean, she
allegedly.
I'll tell you this: she deserved to win before she fell.
Oh my God!
And she deserved to win after she fell.
And don't forget this. Don't forget this. She stayed in her lane.
Yeah,
you go out of your lane, you lose.
That's a good point.
She somersaulted like a straight arrow.
Yeah,
unbelievable. And you know what? All those fun little somersaults in the front yard as a kid, in the living room board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paid off.
It finally paid off.
She's now a champion. That was great.
I mean, that's good.
Let's see if we can bring in Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. I hope Doctor got to see that, man. That was something. I mean, I saw that earlier today, and I'm like, what in the world? How bad was the rest of the field?
Bad. Dr. Bates dropped it off for a second, so I'll let you know when we get him back.
We'll get Doc back.
I think he did see it, though, early.
I hope he did. By the way, Jaguars linebacker signing, Dennis Gardeck, if I'm pronouncing it right, I don't know who he is. And Casey, I don't know if you can see through the window there. I get my Jaguar stuff. They'll send a release. For some reason, it's teeny tiny. I can't see the words of the story. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
I don't know, but they signed a linebacker, Dennis Gardeck, Gardeck. Don't know who he is, but I wish him luck. I hope he becomes the next Dick Butkus.
3 sacks last year and a forced fumble for the Arizona Cardinals.
There you go.
Long career. He's been in the league since 2018.
So he's just a blowing in the wind free agent kind of thing, or?
No, he was with Arizona last year. So yeah, I mean, I would guess he probably
it wasn't a trade or anything.
It was not. Looks like 17 sacks in 7 years, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not going to win awards for that.
Oh, boy.
But it is, in my opinion, intriguing in terms of what they're still looking for. They brought in DeJuan Smoot. They brought him back yesterday.
Yeah, what's the deal? Has that guy got any game at all?
I mean, there's definitely some I can never
familiarity.
Say this word.
Yeah, it's a tough word.
Definitely that with Smoot, so that's a good thing. And
he knows which bridge to take, right?
It says they
take the Matthews Bridge.
They have a couple of holes that they're still trying to fill, and it looks like they did that again today as well.
Well, this linebacker, whoever he is, I hope I'm proven wrong. I'm pretty much done. You know me, one of my pet sayings, he's just a guy. I'm about ready to Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma, Alua Khan. I like all the tackles he makes, but I think that's a byproduct of nobody stops anybody at the defensive line, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? What do I know?
What do you know?
What do I know? Before we get Dr. Bates, we told you about the hurdle. That was incredible. Dr. Bates is with us. Doc, did you see that highlight we just had of the high school girl in Oregon? We don't have the audio. We'll get you audio going. He'll get it going. And I want him to see this. I want him to see this hurdle again. Doc, you there? We see you. You look great. You have to write everything down, though. Write everything down, Doc. Hold on. Let me see if it's on my end. Is it on my end?
No, it's not.
Hold on one second.
I don't know why.
Yeah, let me hit. All right, I got my volume on. Let's see if we can get Doc. He's got to see this hurdle girl. I got to get just because I want to see it again myself. We'll see if we can get Doc's audio squared away. I've got 2 more hijinks stories, Casey, we can get to before or after Doc.
Give them to me. What do you got?
Dr. Bates, did you see or hear about U.S. Open qualifying, golf qualifying, and they call it the longest day in golf, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you to finally, you got to go out and win your card. It's the U.S. Open. They let people try out, and if you win the sectionals and win, you get to play in the U.S. Open. So a guy is closing in. He's at near the leaderboard in one of his late sectionals. I mean, he's making a run at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's a driver for UPS. And, you know, they pretty much deliver things on time. That's kind of what they do. That's kind of their mantra. This guy goes out and shoots a 73, and he's pretty deep in his qualifying, right? I mean, this guy's got a shot. He shoots a 73 in one of these qualifying. He's got to do it one more time, and he's in the U.S. freaking Open. Shoots a 73 like yesterday. About 40 family members are on the course following him, which, yeah, it's a big deal. This guy's just a ham and egger, right? Good golfer. He's a UPS driver. He shoots a 73. He's in contention. He may qualify for the U-freaking-S Open. He and his family, they decide right after the round, well, let's go to the clubhouse and have some lunch. So he starts munching down on some hot dogs.
Okay.
Well, Casey, you got a time limit. You got to turn your scorecard in, signed, and turn it in.
No way.
He missed the time limit and got disqualified.
That's terrible.
The UPS driver did not deliver his scorecard on time.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
And he was eating hot dogs, not caviar. Right?
What a moron.
What an idiot. Look at this guy. He failed to deliver. And
failed to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that one of their mantras? UPS, we get it anywhere, any place, on time.
That's what they say.
Yeah, pretty much. Brown, what can Brown do for you? Right? Is that still their mantra?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, Brown. I've got a couple buddies that are way up. Matter of fact, they've retired after 35, 40 years at UPS, so I got some crazy knowledge. Do you have any idea, or you want to guess, why UPS, they went with the color brown so many years ago? Oh, and there's it's a concept, pretty
they
good
got
concept.
a discount on brown trucks instead of like red ones?
Great guess.
I'm guessing it was not a great guess.
It is a great guess because it involves their delivery truck.
Okay, all right.
All right, you're in the ballpark. The concept is, obviously, they knew that they have a lot of delivery trucks, and they thought their company was going to grow, so they're going to have millions, which they do, all over the world. They thought if everything was brown, it wouldn't show dirt as bad. It wouldn't make them look bad, right? It's tough to keep your fleet clean.
Okay.
So they went brown, number one. Number two, UPS, got to know somebody UPS. When each truck gets loaded, it's strategically loaded.
Okay.
Right? Like right now, they're loading trucks for tomorrow delivery.
Sure.
You're the driver. You don't really load it. You show up in the morning, get your truck. It's already preloaded. And you have a printout kind of where you go. And everything's kind of structured. They try their best. They can't always do it. But the routes, they try to deliver everything on the right side of the road. And then if they have to come back, they'll hit the other side of the road when they make a U-right. And the reason is you turn right, you turn right, you deliver. It's much easier. It'll save on accidents, number one, and it'll save on just idling if you go back right. Right? You come out of the parking lot, you just go right. Instead of crossing 2 or 3 lanes of traffic. Even if your next delivery is right across the street, you may sit there, number one, Casey, idling for 2 minutes because traffic.
Mm-hmm.
That's costing UPS money. And it's dangerous to cross busy lanes. When they get in accidents, that costs them money. So they try to keep all their deliveries on the right side of the road. How about that? Makes sense? Makes a lot of sense.
It does make sense.
If you think about it. How about that knowledge I'm dropping?
It's pretty good.
For free.
It's good stuff.
Professor Terry. Do we have Dr. Bates?
Not even close. I don't know why this is... Like, basically, the best way I can describe this to you is I have to, like, ask for permission. Because, like, you can't just listen to people and view people without asking, right? So there's a button that I have to click that basically asks, can I have your microphone?
Right.
So I've hit that button, and I see Dr. Bates clicking yes or no, and he's messing with me, but I assume it's yes. I see him hitting it. And then where it would switch and say, like, you got it, it just isn't switching.
Am I at all to blame for any of this? Say no.
No. No.
Okay.
No, this is
sounds like a Dr. Bates Casey problem to me.
See, like,
now, when did it start? Just a couple days ago?
It worked this morning.
But remember, did it start when we got Mike Freed involved? Remember?
Okay, so Mike Freed.
I think Mike Freed screwed it up.
I also believe Mike Freed screwed it up.
And, maybe I sent him the wrong link. Could that have done something?
Well, the other thing about this is you, for some reason, have a link that's like the all-powerful link.
Well, Stephen gave... We're doing this on the run here.
We are doing this on the run here,
Stephen, 100 years ago when we started, gave me a link. And we used it for a long time. And then one time, I don't know if it went away or he gave me a second link. So we need to start tracking my links down. But I don't want you to blame me on this now. Gosh,
no, it's not you.
Maybe I gave the wrong link and
maybe it was you. Maybe you gave the wrong link.
Maybe I fouled the system and we need to say, Terry, this is the link. Go back and erase it. Everything that's not this link.
Now, honestly, I do believe there is some of that.
I just narked myself out. What an idiot.
You did. You walked yourself into you being the problem.
An idiot.
Yeah.
You want me to send you the original link Steven gave me?
No,
Fine.
I don't.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to put everything down, okay? Do you want me to give you a story about
I guess so.
a really disgusting situation in New Mexico, high school sports, high school baseball? You want to get disgusted?
I don't know. But, I mean, we don't have any other options, so yeah.
Story time. Story time. Before we get to Brent Beaird, we may have to 86 Dr. Bates. Story time. So, baseball.
Send that to Dr. Bates when you get a chance. I know your best work is not talking and using technology. I know that has
What
been
do
a
I have to
struggle.
do?
Send that link to Dr. Bates that I just sent you.
You just sent me a link?
Yep, I just sent you a link.
All right. Hold on.
We're going to try it. Wait a minute.
Got him? I hope you have him.
Oh!
Ho!
Try it now.
Dr. Bates. Oh! Dr. Bates, you better be good, my man. We did a lot of work. You better be real. Yes, sir. You better be real good. You feel good?
That's good. Yeah, I feel good. Now,
You got your A game? You got your A game?
Oh yeah.
Are you loose? Have you stretched out? We don't need any Dr. Bates B game. We need the A game right now.
Oh, it's always A. It may be A minus or A plus, but it's always
okay.
A.
It's got to be an A. It's got to be an A. All right, Dr. Bates. Of course, we do it every Wednesday. Our Southeast Orthopedic specialist, sports medicine discussion. Injuries are part of sports. We hate to do it, but we have to. Doc, I want to ask you. I've heard it. Everybody's heard over the years. Athletes, high-level athletes that get interviewed and get on TV and get talking to reporters in a bunch of sports, but baseball a lot. You hear, I've heard an athlete say, I heard it pop. I heard it pop. And they're referencing arm or knee. Is that a real thing? And I've got a spinoff on that. Does it really pop and you can hear it?
Yeah, there's things that pop. Doesn't mean that it's a serious injury, but yeah, you can have clicks and pops, but whether it means something or not.
But I mean, when it turns out that it is a UCL, an MCL, an ACL, if that athlete said, I heard it pop, did he, in most cases, or she literally hear the ligament tendon pop, or Achilles pop? Could you hear it? Is that real?
Well, within the person, I think some of it is manifested as a feel, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's a feel,
Okay.
but then they kind of feel like they heard it, even though it's kind of something that they feel. But sometimes another person can feel like a tendon tear or pop or something like that as well. So you can truly have a pop with a serious injury that you actually quote unquote hear with your body. Mm-hmm.
So
Certainly.
if you were talking to a high level athlete that you know is not just talking a kid or just talking, if that athlete in an examination, even on the field, minutes after it happened or off the field, if that high level athlete said, Doc, yeah, I threw that pitch and I heard it pop, would that almost mean catastrophic? Something catastrophic.
Particularly if it's a pop around the elbow.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're talking about UCL tears and things like that. That's the pop that they feel with the one-time throw where they didn't have any pain before and all of a sudden they got a pop. Where sometimes you'll have UCL tears or Tommy John ligament injury tears where it's kind of an attritional tear over time where it's not one throw that causes it.
Yeah, but we had I can't remember what baseball player it was. They did the typical, man, I don't know if it was in a game or warming up during innings. He said he heard the pop, and I was like, I'm gonna ask Dr. Bates, is that legit or are they feeling a pain and almost talking themselves into? I actually heard it pop, Doc. I'm telling you, you know.
Well, I think there's some situations where they may not hear it pop, but they manifest it as hearing it pop. It's more like a feel.
Yeah, and you said that a minute ago. Yeah, you said that a minute ago. You could manifest. Yeah. And then, you know, hell, we've all had non-athletic stuff, but you go, gosh, did I hear that or did I think I heard that? You know, or did I see that? Yeah. Did I? Hell, I'm at the age now, Doc. I literally, when it comes to manifesting and memory, I literally have seen and gone to so many games. I can sit here and go, yeah, we could be talking about the 2006 Florida State game in Gainesville football, and I can literally go, okay, was I in the press box at that game or was I at home? And I literally can't really remember.
Right. So many games, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so old. Doc, Mookie Betts, he's back in the lineup. He had a little issue with he had a painful issue with a stubbed toe. And I'm assuming big toe, but a stubbed toe. And, when I was a kid playing in the street, when kids played outside, we called a stubbed toe. We were running in the street playing football, baseball, basketball with no shoes on, and you would stub your big toe and the skin would be hanging off. This is not really what they're talking about, I don't think. I think a stubbed toe at the high level is, what is it? Is that a direct impact with the toe hitting the ground? What is a high-level impact stub toe, and what is it? What does it cause?
What you're talking about for the big toe,
yeah,
is something that we call turf toe.
Yeah,
with where you get a stub toe, but I don't think that happened with him either, and I don't think it was his big toe. I think it was his fourth toe.
Ah, I didn't know that. Okay.
And apparently, I read that he was getting up in the middle of the night and he stubbed his toe against the corner of a wall or door.
Oh, that hurts. Oh.
And he actually has a little fracture in that toe.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Because it's not part of the tripod, the end toes, like the pinky toe or the big toe or the heel, right? That makes up the tripod. Because it's kind of within the middle, that you don't have to be out for as long. And over time you can kind of buddy tape the fourth toe to the third toe and the third toe acts as a splint for the fourth toe. So apparently, I think he's only going to be out for about 4 or 5 games, maybe three games.
Yeah.
And so it won't be all the way healed by then, but it'll be healed enough and stabilized enough so that he can do his job out on the field.
Is the injury just a bruise then, or is it more than that?
No, you can actually have a small little fracture in the toe, but a fracture that's not really displaced or anything like that. I'm sure there's bruising with it. And the bruising into the skin, because when you have a fracture, you kind of beat around in the soft tissue, so there's bruising in that area, and there's swelling in that area, and so you just kind of have to get that to all calm down a bit and enough to where he can get out and bat and field and throw and all of that.
Yeah. Well, shame on me. When I was reading this article, I thought, okay, he must have been running, chasing something, a ball or whatever, and slam that big toe into the ground. And I was like, I wonder what the issue from that is. Is it a compressed, the toe got compressed in or what have you? But you're right. So he was walking. And, man, we've all done that. That hurts like a you-know-what, man.
Yeah, yep.
Hitting a piece of furniture or what have you. Ooh, that really, really hurts. Okay, last thing, Doc, and I know we had a little trouble. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're busy. Yankees baseball player Jazz Chisholm, he's been out for a while with an oblique. He's back. He had the oblique injury. We've talked oblique a little bit. I can't remember. Is the oblique injury, is that a temperamental injury like a hammy or no? Is it one that generally heals and it's not going to, you're not going to have to nurse that the rest of the season? Is it a temperamental injury, oblique?
It certainly can be temperamental because it's part of your trunk. And your trunk is your stability, right? And so everything he does, throwing, batting, any type of torsion in the trunk, you're using your obliques, your obliquus, your abdominis obliquus muscle, and that whole group of muscles in that region. And so it can get irritated really quickly. And so it can be a little bit temperamental as far as coming back. When you come back, how quickly you can come back and all of that.
Last thing, and then I want to show you, you're going to love this video we've got from the hurdler girl if you haven't seen it. Go back to what you said about a triangle. I've never heard that. Obviously, I'm not a medical guy. You said something about it's referred to as a triangle. Talk about that on the foot.
Tripod.
Oh, tripod.
So
I'm sorry.
Tripod.
Tripod. I'm sorry.
And so the most important parts are for standing and walking and cutting and pivoting and stuff, and those types of movements are the heel, the big toe,
right,
and the pinky toe. All right, it's really the end of the metatarsals. We call them metatarsal heads. And so if you have injury to any one of those parts, you have difficulty walking, difficulty running and jumping and cutting and pivoting. All the other parts kind of in between that, yeah, you can have issues with it and serious issues with it, but particularly out into the toe region, the second, third, and fourth toe, they are kind of stabilized by the first and the fifth.
And toes, you said more or less to immobilize a toe to let it heal if there's a fracture. You just buddy tape it, right? There's not even at least a finger sometimes can get a finger splint.
Yeah.
But you really don't put
typically buddy tape. And sometimes you can put a hard sole or a hard object like a shank in the forefoot of the shoe, and that may help with not putting as much pressure on that particular area of the toe.
All right, Casey, do we have that highlight? Okay, Doc, this is from your high school. Remember when you were a track and field star, you were a hurdler, and this is Dr. Bates. You were in lane 4. We dug this up. Here's Doc. Look, Doc, you're doing great. You're going to win. Lane 4, you're way ahead. Look at Dr. Bates go. He's just, down goes double somersault, Dr. Bates. Where'd you pick that up at?
Did he still win? I don't know. Did he still win?
She still won.
Yeah.
Here it goes again. Look at this. She got a big lead. What could go wrong? One little hurdle to get over it. We're done. She trips, double somersaults, and she wins.
She bounces across the finish line.
Was that incredible? A couple things. Number one, she stayed in her lane because if you go out of lane, you get disqualified.
Yeah.
She stayed in her lane. Number two, how bad are the other girls? She fell and double somersaulted. How slow are the other girls, Dr. Bates?
Right. That's amazing.
Wasn't that great?
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
That was good stuff.
She beat them somersaulting across the finish line.
And Doc, I don't want to give away your wonderful, talented services, but if she got injured and she knocks on Southeast Orthopedic Specialist door, can y'all treat her for free? I mean, if she's got injured doing a double somersault across the finish line, treat her for free.
She's special. Yeah, we have to take care of her.
She is special. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. We'll do it next week.
Thank you.
That's our buddy, Dr. Bates. If you find yourself in a orthopedic situation, somebody you love, your family member, if you've got a serious orthopedic situation, you don't want to wait. You want to get it treated, get started on getting better. Don't wait. Don't go to a standard emergency room where you're going to sit around for hours and all you're going to do is burn time. Go to Southeast Orthopedic. They've got multiple locations, no appointment necessary. They understand emergencies. Go to their website and find out their no appointment necessary locations 24/7, 365. Go to their site, the letters se-ortho.com. se-ortho.com. Casey, let's keep you here for a few more moments before we get Brent. We'll take a break, come back with Brent Beaird. My last sports hijinks. I teased it a moment ago, Casey. Baseball, high school baseball out of New Mexico. See if I can pull it up, but I know the story.
Okay.
Here's the deal. So, generally the home team has some host responsibilities, right? Okay, guys, we're playing in a little bit. We're playing tomorrow. Who's going to drag the field? Okay, Johnny, you got that. Okay. Remember now, as a courtesy, we put the water bucket in the visiting dugout, right? Who's got it? Oh, I got that, Coach. I got that. That guy, the guy that said I got that, you know what he decided to do?
I'm guessing not water.
He added something to the water.
Interesting.
The guy, and I don't know how he got busted, but the guy, it's in New Mexico. It got found out and he admitted to it. He might have urinated in the opposed.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he decided to urinate into the water bucket that was put into the visiting team's dugouts.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
And going a little further, New Mexico, come to find out, the kid gets in a little trouble. The police are called.
They should be.
And come to find out, there's nothing on the books that says that's against anything.
That actually doesn't surprise me because, when would that have came up before now?
Yeah, good point. So there's an uproar in the area because the kid, they're like, wait a minute. They're not wanting to bury the kid, right? It's not a change your life offense.
No, but bad.
But they were thinking that the authorities should have at least found something.
Yeah.
You could have put it under.
Gotta be.
A misdemeanor and just, because
vandalism, gotta be
something like that. Yeah, and that's what the community is saying, because basically the report came out and said, well, the kid's really not in trouble because they're like, what about copycats? What about
That's
copycats? I can urinate in water all the time.
That's crazy.
How about the team that said, hey,
this doesn't taste right?
How about the visiting team that goes, hey, we appreciate your hospitality. Boy, that lemon lime Gatorade was great.
That's not good.
And the coach goes, what? No, lemon, what? No, we just put straight water. Oh, boy. Johnny, come here.
Yeah, it's not good.
And you start saying, Johnny, you know we got a camera scattered around this campus. Johnny's
lucky to survive that.
Oh, my God. Oh, no kidding.
Because, like,
no kidding.
If that just, listen, I went to a high school that was somewhat questionable. And listen, I know some of the kids that were on my team. Some may or may not currently be held in a penitentiary. I can tell you right now, that would not have ended in any way other than that kid getting his ass beat.
And you know what? If you're the kid and the parents of the kid, you probably, if that was offered, you say, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're throwing Johnny on the pitcher's mound of the infield. We're locking the gate, and you guys got 2 minutes at him.
Basically.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we shake hands.
The lights are going to go off from 57 to 59.
Yes.
And we're shaking hands at 8.
We shake hands at 8. Now, we're not going to go have a drink of water afterwards.
Not from that cooler.
Not from that cooler. But in New Mexico, that's where this happened at. You know, that's where they were selling drugs out of the chicken place in Breaking Bad. Right? Breaking Bad was in New
correct.
Mexico.
I'm actually very surprised you know that.
Nobody knew that the chicken place was a front for, what was that?
Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yes.
And it was methamphetamine.
Meth, yeah.
I love Breaking Bad.
Will White was running it through there.
Walter, but close.
Walter, yeah. Will White was a DB for the Gators.
Different human.
Hey, what about the two twin, killer guys?
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
Yeah, the cousins.
And they had the boots?
Uh-huh.
They were badass, weren't they?
They were until they got killed.
Yeah, until they got killed. I will tell you, though, man.
It was a good show. You watched Breaking Bad?
Oh, I binge-watched it and couldn't stop watching it.
This surprises me.
Oh, was it good?
It was good. No, I'm not arguing that. It was very good.
Jesse and Walter and... Oh, and then the damn brother-in-law was a, FBI?
agent?
DA?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Like most series, it went probably one season long.
Potentially.
But...
they ended it well.
Like all of them, man, when you're in it,
it.
All you want to do is get home. And how many times did I say this watching Breaking Bad? All right, Terry, it's Tuesday night. Just finished eating. Okay, I'm going to watch a couple episodes. Can't wait. I'll watch 2. 2 turns into 6.
Mm-hmm. It was one of those shows, man. And it's tough because I also binge watched. I didn't watch it when it was on.
Same here.
I had friends that watched it when it was on.
Yeah.
And they would always tell me, like, you have no idea what it was like to sit and wait a week.
Yes.
For the next one that you watch 20 seconds later. I'm like,
yes.
That's probably true.
The binge watching thing, I don't do it often, but I don't watch any first run.
When it's on.
I didn't watch Seinfeld first run. Everybody said the show.
Interesting.
I caught it in reruns, not binge, but reruns.
Okay.
But yeah, Breaking Bad, Mad Men.
Mad Men's a good one.
I did the same thing, man. I hear about them, and I'll hear about them for a couple years, and then I'll go, okay, I got to try it.
Have you watched Suits?
I absolutely watched Suits. It went a season too long.
It was good, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Easy on the eyes, too. Did you notice that about Suits?
Even the dudes.
It was, oh yeah, handsome dudes.
Yeah, I mean, just really good casting overall.
Hey, that damn Harvey Specter.
Good looking dude.
To look like him and act like him and have the charisma for one day.
It'd be something.
I'd do some damage, man.
He was a great character.
I would do some damage.
Unbelievable character.
Beautiful women on that show, including the
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle, yeah, she was cute. Wasn't she really cute back then?
Now she's I don't know,
Duchess or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if she still is technically because they quit, but
they quit.
You get the idea.
They quit.
I mean, that's kind of how it happened.
They did quit. They announced their retirement in their 30s.
They did quit.
Yeah. She was really cute back then, though, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And is she still cute? I haven't seen her in a while.
She still generally looks like she did in Suits.
Yeah.
She's a little older.
And they tried to do a re-air of
They
Suits.
did. It was not good.
I heard it was bad.
Harvey was in it, though, for a minute or two.
I heard it was bad.
Stephen Amell was like the main. I like Stephen Amell, but
which one was he? He was the...
I don't even know the character name. but he was the main person.
What? Was he the? Well, Harvey was the main person.
No, I'm talking in the new one.
Oh, in the new one.
Yeah.
Was he a carryover from the old one?
No.
Okay,
totally
that whole actor was different.
The only person on the cast that was the same for the new one and the old one was Harvey was in there briefly.
And Harvey in the original, Harvey and the redhead ended up together at the end.
Yes.
Right? His secretary.
Spoiler alert, but
yeah, who cares? Hell, it's 10 years old.
You never know. I mean,
but
they did.
They had a fling one time, but then they were all professional.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he went to her, and I was like a schoolgirl. You need to go get her.
You were crying at the end?
At the end, when you knew it was, you looked up and you went, there's 15 minutes left, Harvey, and I can't think of her name.
I can't either.
Yeah, but Harvey finally, he out of all the beauties he had, he finally realized. Donna. He finally realized just outside his office, on the secretary desk, was the one for him.
How about that?
Go get Donna. Don't mess this up. Donna. It was like the final scene from Officer and a Gentleman.
Never seen it.
When Richard Gere finally goes and swoops Deborah Winger up from the warehouse. And how have you never seen Officer and a Gentleman?
I don't know. How old is that?
30 years. I mean,
I'm not 30 years old.
Award-winning movie, though. I mean, Richard Gere, Lou Gossett Jr.
That came out in 82, man. It's a little more than 30.
Yeah, but I mean, have you ever seen Gone with the Wind?
Nope.
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, but come on. That's
1939, for God's sake.
Well, yeah, but that's like one you watch as a kid.
Have you
They
heard?
show that at daycare.
Do you know or have you heard anything about this little episode called World War I, World War II?
I've heard of the real things, yeah. The real wars.
You know this guy named JFK?
Not familiar.
Jeez.
See, but that's all real stuff.
Don't be one of these young guys. I wasn't born back then. Well, nor was I, but I know a little bit about, the Model T.
I mean, 82, though, I was negative 15. I mean, I'm not going back and finding that.
Negative 15.
Dude.
Yeah, Can we go to break and get Brent Beaird on, for God's sake?
Yeah, we can do that.
Take a break and come back. I don't know where this has gone. Blame it on Casey. Casey Kurtz, ladies and gentlemen.
Fair enough.
Casey Kurtz.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The best stories sometimes come after the game. Join us for in-depth conversations with local coaches Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m., including our latest guest on the program.
So I had a parent meeting year 2 and told the parents, look, I know there's 15 of us. There'll be more that will come. The younger ones will come up and they'll be fine. And, we'll win state championships. And when I tell you they laughed at me to the point of tears, I'm not exaggerating.
Catch up on the chats you missed by watching the After the Game playlist on our Action Sports Jacks YouTube page.
Hey, as we welcome you back, Jarrion Norvelle here. 20 minutes or so, we're going to talk a lot of college football with Brent Beaird. Casey, that promo about after the game, does Stewart host that show?
No,
it's bounce around.
It's Josh Baker from Baker Sports.
And I saw him in that promo. Yeah,
yeah, and that was with Mike Pickett, St. John's Country Day, soccer coach, and all the championships. So yeah, it's.
I've seen one or two of those. He had Coach Sullivan on, I think, one time, and that's a good concept of a show.
Yeah, no, it's done well. He's done pretty much all the football coaches in the area.
That's
done a lot of baseball, a lot of softball. Mike Pickett
and Josh Baker, man, one of the great business people in our community, does great things for our community. And, man, if you've got a high school athlete in this area, Baker Sports has touched that high school athlete. Oh,
boy.
I guarantee that. Before we bring on Brent Beaird, Casey, a moment ago, though, you were talking about being negative 15 years old.
Yes.
You make it sound like your mom was at the dinner table and she looked over at the father and went, honey, I'm pregnant. I mean, Casey, you make it sound so terrible.
Listen, I don't know. I've always just quantified things as negative, Casey, or plus. It's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of a weird thing to think about. Because, you're negative 15, right? So you're not born for 15 years. But, so you don't exist, but, you're gonna. It's why I don't know. I love thinking about that type of stuff. I don't love it at night, though, because I think about it sometimes way too long and then I can't sleep.
Can't go to sleep.
Because it throws me off. But,
Brent Beaird, we've been all over the map here, Brent. But let's bring it back to the fact that Athlons is out. You sent me some numbers, and I want to dive in some of these rankings. Athlons ranked the SEC and the ACC. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Good to be on with you guys. Let me also say I covered Mike Pickett many years ago. He's won many state championships at St. John's Country Day. And real quick, congratulations to Marty Lee.
How about that?
Who is retired from First Coast, has been there basically about 3 decades too.
Yep.
So
35 years, I think.
You and I have done plenty of First Coast Comcast games of the week in our time too. But yes,
how old are we when I can recall pretty vividly when Mandarin and First Coast were born for overcrowding purposes. They were born.
Oh,
Man, Marty Lee, great dude, by the way. Really good dude.
Really.
And he has helped nurture so many tens of thousands of young people get through some tough years. Those high school years are tough. Brent, let's get to the SEC. Athlons came out, and a couple things struck me. They rank where they think the teams will finish in the SEC, 1 through 16. Texas, Georgia, LSU. Number 4, I've got an asterisk by I want to talk about. Number 5, number 10, and number 11. How about number 4? If Alabama finishes 4th in the SEC, they're on the cusp of a playoff bid. Man, if DeBoer doesn't get a playoff bid, Alabama, if they finish 4th, they better get in the playoff, I would think.
Oh, yeah. If they're 4th, I think they will be in the playoffs.
You would think. They're right on the edge, right? Yeah.
Frankly, now LSU is 3rd. but that's simply because they've got an incredible amount of talent again.
Yeah.
LSU has the number one transfer portal bunch, and the Jarrion Brown from Kentucky
nice receiver.
is one of the best ones that they had too. So, but yeah, what a group that's going to be. And again with Florida, it's all on if your quarterback's healthy with all these teams, including Lagway at Florida, you're going to be in the top 5.
And Athlon's, by the way, has Florida 5th. So the way I read that, man, if I'm a Gator fan, I'm really happy if Athlon thinks Florida will finish 5th. If you're 5th, you're probably staring at least 8, maybe 9 wins.
Yeah.
Even if you get but if Florida finishes 5th in the SEC, I think they've got 8 or 9 wins, and they're maybe 1 game short of the playoffs. But that would mean they would have been in playoff talk all year. I think that would be enough to keep Napier's nose above water.
Yeah, it would be. There's no doubt about that. But I'll tell you what's scary in these rankings is A&M at 8.
Yeah.
OU at 9.
Right.
And particularly, and I can tell you right now, if Auburn's 11, Hugh Freeze is out of a job.
Well, it's funny. I said 4 or 5 I've got highlighted. Alabama, Florida, we just talked about. 10 and 11. I agree with Tennessee at 10. I think Tennessee takes a step back this year. I think they just got to reload. Nothing against Tennessee. But yeah, Auburn to me, when you sent this, and I looked at it this morning, that stuck out like a blinking light. I went, whoa. If Auburn wraps up 11th in the SEC, that's 6, 7, or 8 losses pretty much guaranteed. How sticky does that get if Hugh Freeze finishes in the back half of the SEC again?
Look, Freeze has said on record, and this was just a week or so ago, if we don't make a bowl game, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So I mean, he fully realizes that one.
Yeah.
Missouri at 12, that would be a downer for them.
Yeah.
But when you've had 2 really good years in a row, that will save Eli at this point. But you're right. This SEC list is illuminating, isn't it?
It really is. Vanderbilt at 14, coming off a good year. I can still see that. Some of that was magic. Some of that was rubbing magic stones together, I think. Diego was a fun story. I tell you the other one, and we'll get off the SEC. We're kind of on a short time here. I want to get to the ACC as well. Athlon's has preseason SEC rankings, Kentucky 15th. If Kentucky, in my opinion, finishes 15th, I think Stoops and Kentucky will shake hands and say, you know what, sometime it's just time. Would you agree with that? If Kentucky finishes 15th, they've lost 9, 10 games, probably 8, 9, 10 games.
Yeah, and Zach Calzada at quarterback, that would mean that experiment did not work too.
I would agree. Overall, I'm pretty good. I think LSU is a wild card. At 3, at 3 in the SEC, you're in the playoff. I think LSU's got a little bit of issues at coaching, like Florida. What kind of year is Brian Kelly? Is Brian Kelly going to screw up like Napier? Yeah. Is Napier going to screw up and cost him a game? I'm with you, though. LSU's got talent, but, man, I don't know if I trust Brian Kelly making all the in-game. I don't think he's a very good in-game coach.
Terry, if you're an opening weekend, the guy with the most pressure is Brian Kelly. You're going to Clemson in a absolute powder keg up there, trying to win a game, and you've lost 5 openers in a row.
Yeah, Kelly's never won an opener in LSU. And you've heard it, and we're going to jump to the ACC here in a second. Clemson folk, they think this is their best team in 5-6 years. They've got talent too. Hell, they've got a roster a lot like LSU. They bring back a very experienced quarterback. Yep. They bring back athletes all over the field. Dabo finally got into the portal a little bit. Brent, right now, I would probably pick Clemson. I will pull for LSU and pick Clemson right now unless a lot changes this summer.
I think that's a good point. The biggest transfer portal for Clemson with Tom Allen at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
That's their defensive coordinator.
Real good pickup.
Tremendous coordinator, yes.
Real good pickup, and it was weird. It just never worked out for him at his previous stop at Penn State. Good quarterback, D coordinator. Real good.
Absolutely.
Brent, we got about 5 minutes left. Let's jump to the ACC here. We're talking with Brent Beaird. Of course, the Athlons magazine came out, and I was intrigued. Brent, you sent me the copy. Thank you very much yesterday. That kind of gave me chills when I saw that magazine. And then
yes, for you and I.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Terry, doesn't at least for a few seconds, doesn't that take you back to your childhood?
Oh, it made me all tingly like when I was a 12-year-old. When we went to Strickland's Lake, and you saw some of the girls in your junior high in a bathing suit, and you're like, I don't know why I'm tingly all over, but I like it. I kind of you sent me the magazine cover, and I got all tingly like a 12-year-old boy. And but then you sent also, I didn't buy it yet, but you sent the some of the excerpts. SEC standings, ACC. Let's take a look at the ACC. Mm-hmm. And I've got two particular highlighted. Clemson 1, Miami 2, SMU 3, Louisville 4, Georgia Tech 5, Duke 6, and I'll stop there.
Oh.
I haven't said Florida State yet.
That's concerning.
Florida State, they have, and this is Athlons, finishing 7th in the ACC. And we'll go Pitt 8, UNC 9, that's your boy Belichick, North Carolina State 10, Virginia Tech, BC, Syracuse, Virginia, Cal, Wake Forest, Stanford at 17. We won't get it. Miami 2, if that's real, then that's going to be a hell of a game between Florida and Miami.
Yes.
And Brent, if FSU does finish 7th in the ACC, how many losses, including you're playing Alabama in the first game, you're playing Florida in the last game. If they've got them 7th in the ACC, that must mean a lot of losses for FSU.
Terry, is that 7 and 5?
On a good day.
6 and 6, yeah, or maybe closer to 6 and 6, yeah.
Probably in that 6 and 6 range. And I know 6 and 6 is way better than 2 and 10, and you could sell it as 4-game improvement, but man, it just looks shocking. And again, FSU, they bookend Alabama with Florida, and there's 2 or 3 teams. Clemson's better than FSU.
Yeah.
Miami, I don't care about the history, is probably better this coming year.
Yes.
You could, and I don't have all their opponents, but then the problem with FSU is they've historically lost to 2 or 3 teams. Call them NC State, call them BC. Call them Syracuse.
Yes.
Boy, they really can't afford those 2 or 3 slip-up games. Back half of the conference slip-ups. Talk about FSU.
Yeah, Consternanos, the quarterback transfer from BC is going to be tremendously important for them with how that goes. I'm with you, and that defense is going to be much better than they were. And also the offensive line. I tell you another team that would be really disappointed to be at 13 is Syracuse.
Yeah. I thought that was a little bit low. I thought that was low for them. With what Fran Brown has done.
Yes. After the year they had last year, that would be tough. I did talk to a Miami beat writer this week, and we were texting back and forth, and he said, man, I don't know what we're going to get with Carson Beck. He said, I'm very concerned that may not work out, and that's a guy who knows Miami through and through.
Let me ask you this, and we have 2 minutes left. Did you get the feeling that comment was from a physical comment, the football player, or a mental off the field, or was it hard to say?
I think it was a little bit of both. And the reality is he a fit for the program type thing?
Yeah. It's a different world down there.
It is.
It really is a different world. It's definitely different than Gainesville and Tallahassee. Different world. I get it. There's distractions everywhere. You can get in trouble anywhere. But yeah, that's a different world. That's a different world. And I've only been around Beck one time. He was on a show I had, a Saturday morning show, and he and his dad came over in high school. He didn't strike me as a shuck and jive South Florida guy, and this is before we ever thought he was going down there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Now look, when he's healthy, I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he did lose some really good receivers. That's going to I think that's going to hurt him too. Look, and I know we're short on time. I'm curious if this caught your eye like it did mine. USC 34.
Wow.
Terry, if they're 34, are they looking for a new coaching staff at the end of the year?
They very well, 30 seconds left, they very well may be, because Riley keeps bringing in talent.
Yes.
And I mean, if they lay an egg again with the talent, they're again in the top 5. All they do is bring in talent, but they just don't translate to wins. Wow. FSU was 45th, I think, overall. 45th.
Yeah. And Terry, by the way, should have Lindy's this week. So you could get even more tingly.
Yes.
When that comes out. So that will be fun to see, and it's fun to compare the two magazines, and then obviously Phil Steele will be out on July the 4th.
We got to go. We'll do it later in the week. Tomorrow, join us 4 to 6, the Young and Norvelle Show, live from Sliders.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the